This video is brought to you by Fulfillrite. Booking freight is scary and disorienting, or at least it can be. Oftentimes you have to have your items manufactured in another country, or at least another part of the country. As recently as 10 years ago, getting goods from point A to point B would have involved calling a freight broker. That's just not the case anymore. One of our business partners is Freightos. They've got a really great setup, and I have personally used their services outside of Fulfillrite work to transport board games from China to New Jersey. That's why I wanted to take a moment to describe how their services work and how you can use them. Freightos is a freight shipping marketplace. Basically, in the same way that Kayak helps you book flights, hotels, and rental cars, Freightos helps you book shipping by air, sea, road, and rail. But before we get to that, a quick note. If you need help fulfilling your orders, look no further. We've worked with hundreds of companies just like yours, and we would be happy to help you too. Go to fulfillrite.com/open to request a quote today. Link in the description. Alright, back to the tutorial. The first thing you will need to do in order to book freight with Freightos is go to their website and click Get Started, then create an account. That's all very straightforward, so I did that before recording this video. In order to help you book freight, Freightos needs 4 basic types of information. Origin, where your goods are coming from. Destination, where your goods are going next. Load, how much the goods weigh and how much space they take up. Good, what the goods are and how much they are worth. So let's take these one by one. Origin. When you're entering in information about the origin of your goods, you need to fill out 3 fields. The first is type, as in the type of location where the goods are being stored right now. The second is country, which is pretty self-explanatory. The third is address, which doesn't have to be precise down to a street level. All you need is a zip code or a city to get started. For type, you have 4 options: port or airport, factory or warehouse, business address, and residential address. The type that you pick will determine what kind of freight shipping service you need. If your goods are sitting at an airport or a seaport awaiting pickup, you will select port/airport and then enter in the name of the port or airport. If they are sitting at a factory or warehouse and are awaiting pickup there, you will select factory/warehouse. If the goods are at a business location that does not have a lift gate or a loading dock for trucks, choose business address. Lastly, if the goods are waiting at someone's home, you will select residential address. And again, when you choose address, all you need to enter in is a city. In our example, I'm going to assume that we're manufacturing a bunch of board games in Guangzhou, China, and that the stock is waiting in the factory. Destination. The second batch of information you will need to enter is destination information. Where are your goods being shipped to? There are again 3 fields that you will need to fill out: type, country, and address. As with last time, country is self-explanatory and address needs to only be a zip code or city. You will have 6 options under type: port or airport, warehouse, fulfillment center, business address, residential address, and last mile delivery warehouse. If your goods are meant to be delivered to a seaport or airport, select port/airport. If your goods are being delivered to a business without a lift gate or loading dock, select business address. If the goods are going to your home or someone else's home, select residential address. If the goods are going to an order fulfillment center, you have a few options: warehouse, fulfillment center, and last mile delivery warehousing. If you're shipping with a really big company like Amazon, try fulfillment center and last mile delivery warehousing first to see if your specific location of choice shows up in the suggestions. If it doesn't, select warehouse and enter the city or zip code of your warehouse. For our example, we're going to type in Lakewood, New Jersey 08701 because that's where our warehouse is located. Hopefully this is what you'll be typing in too, because that would mean you're doing business with us. Load. Load is one of the more complicated parts of booking freight with Freightos. Your cargo will either be loose or shipped in containers. If you're shipping full container loads of goods, select containers and then the number and size of the containers to be shipped. However, odds are good that you're not going to be shipping an entire container, so in that case you will be shipping by either boxes or crates or pallets. Choose the one that's appropriate for your situation. Don't guess. Ask your manufacturer if you're not sure how your goods are packaged for shipping. For our case, we'll assume our goods are being shipped by pallet, and then we'll choose a pallet size. For our case, we'll assume 48 by 40 and stack 60 inches high. Sorry if the use of Freedom units is confusing, but do note that Freightos also lets you enter this all in metric too. We'll also assume that we're shipping 3 pallets, 800 pounds each. Again, check with your manufacturer to be sure. You want to enter accurate numbers here, because if you don't, your quote won't be accurate and you might end up with some surprise bills. Goods. Lastly, you will need to enter some information about your goods. Enter the value of your entire shipment of goods in the relevant currency, check the hazardous goods box if needed, and then enter in when your goods will be ready. For us, we'll assume they're going to be ready within 2 weeks. After entering in all this basic information, you will be sent to the next screen, which is recommended services. It is at this point that you will choose options as appropriate. Under the liftgate section, if either location does not have a loading dock, you need to answer yes here. That's because loading goods into or out of a place that doesn't have a loading dock requires a liftgate, which is specialized equipment. There's also a checkbox for insurance. It covers the value of all your goods and the price of freight up to a certain point, just in case something happens while it's lost in transit. I recommend that you leave this checked yes, just in case your goods are lost or damaged. On the right side, you will see the customs, brokerage, and bond section. This is pretty complicated and your situation might differ, but here's what I would advise if you don't know how to proceed. Select yes, I need customs brokerage. That means Freightos will hire a customs broker on your behalf to make sure your goods are imported into the destination country without a hassle. Select yes, I need a customs bond. That means Freightos will create documentation that's needed for you to import those goods. If you ship once or twice a year, you only need a single entry bond. Otherwise, you might want to consider an annual bond. Check, I'm importing into my country of residence if that is indeed the case. Check, I'm not a known shipper unless you have been cleared as a known shipper by the TSA. Freightos will then take a couple of minutes to come up with freight quotes from around the world. It takes a little bit of time to load because it's a lot of information to process. When it does load all the quotes, you can select quotes based on the amount of time needed to ship goods, overall cost, and even eco-friendliness. You can use the filters on the left to pick a certain type of shipping such as sea or air. You can even choose which ports you would like to ship out of or into. For our purposes, I'm going to keep it simple and pick the cheapest freight quote with a decent customer service rating. That just so happens to be the one at the top of the screen. At the end of the process, Freightos will take you to the booking confirmation screen. You will then review the information, make sure it is accurate, and if you're ready to book, click confirm and book shipment. Now I won't click this button right now because I think my boss might have an issue with me charging $3,200 to the company card to make a YouTube video. But here's what happens next based on my personal experience. Freightos will charge your card and start getting things coordinated for you. Someone will reach out to you and ask for more information such as the address of your origin and destination warehouses, and then you'll get a lot of paperwork that you need to fill out in order to have freight shipped. It is, after all, a pretty complicated process. They're pretty good about walking you through the process though, although precisely what is required will change based on the particulars of your situation, and that's the part of this that I can't make a tutorial for. Notably, you will at some point likely receive a bill for customs clearance, and this is unavoidable. While the charge appears on Freightos system, they don't actually take the money. That goes to whatever government is letting you import goods, and you will have to pay those customs and duties as well as the fees for any customs clearance exams. Freightos cannot estimate that ahead of time, so they don't include it in the quote. At this point, once you book shipping, all you really need to do is watch your email and respond to any messages you get. This process is as straightforward as it can be considering the complexity of global shipping. And there you have it. You can book freight in as little as 10 minutes if you use Freightos, and I hope this video guide helps you to do so. If you've watched this video and you feel like you need help fulfilling your orders after they arrive at their final destination, we'd like to help. Fulfillrite is the most trusted name in order fulfillment. Boost customer satisfaction and scale your business faster with a logistics partner that feels like an extension of your team. Services include same-day shipping, real-time order and inventory tracking, dedicated customer service, and volume-based discounts. Go to fulfillrite.com/open to request a quote today, link in the description. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked it, take a moment to like and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to ring the bell too so you can see the videos as soon as they drop. And now a parting question for you. Have you ever booked a freight shipment before? If so, how did it go? Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you.